Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Edwin Edebiri, and I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and also the Happy Neighborhood Project. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our way of kicking the week off on a foundation of happiness. Yes. And I know you guys already know this. If you are happy, you are more creative, you are more productive, you are more resilient. You're calling sick less at work, and overall, you are just a healthier, stronger human being. Okay, so happiness plays a lot of roles in our life. But today, folks, I want to talk about a subject that most of us already know about, and maybe have a look at it from the angle that we're going to be sharing this morning. And so today's topic for the Happy Monday is volunteering and happiness. Now, don't just close off right away and say, oh, I already know that. But I want to give you some pointers that will help you to think of it from a different point of view. Okay, according to Hinckle, he said one of the greatest ironies of life is this. He or she who serve almost always benefit more than he or she who is served. Folks, that's really the essence of volunteering. The power of volunteering, folks, has been documented over the last 2,500 years. But science now begins to prove what great leaders and philosophers have known for years. Now, here is one thing, though, that even surprises me as I was doing research on this particular topic. And most of you know me, knows I talk about volunteering all the time. And you will assume, oh, he doesn't need to do research to do this particular topic. But no, I always do, because I want to know what's new. I want to know what's fresh. I want to know a different angle. I am very open-minded, okay? And so I'm reading an article by Mark Harowski, and he looked at it from another angle. Let me give you one of the most powerful things that I discovered, that volunteering time makes you feel like you have more time. How many of you have thought about that? Folks, I know most time when I talk to people about volunteering, the biggest thing they tell me, oh, I don't have the time. Folks, when you dig into this research was not published in Psychology Today, which is where most people would think. It was published in Harvard Business Review. So which means a lot of business people have to get to understand how this works. When you complain about you don't have time, you have time scarcity. You have scarcity mentality. And on the other hand, when you volunteer your time, folks, it makes you feel like you have more time and you have a surplus mentality. How cool is that? Folks, that reason alone should make you go out and give it a shot, give it a try. If you've never volunteered before, and if you're one of those few people also who use I don't have time as an excuse for not volunteering, maybe this can help you to turn it around, because volunteering makes you feel like you actually have more time. So the result shows that giving your time to others can make you feel more time affluent and less time constrained than wasting time on all the other things that you may think. Folks, that's a huge, thought to look at, because time is one thing we all crunch to. We all, even though every single one of us have 24 hours in a day, and we have 168 hours in a week, somehow some people have time and others don't have time. That's just magical. So another point he talks about is volunteering your skills help you develop new skills. This is almost like the law of use, or, if you use it, you use more. If you don't use it, you lose it, kind of stuff. By volunteering your skills, help you develop new skills. So think about this, folks. Next time, if you are a programmer and you go and volunteer for a nonprofit and you help them set up their computer, or you are a gardener and you volunteer for a nonprofit and you help them teach kids how to garden, Folks, imagine you bring your skill to the table. It helps you to develop new skills. You'll be finding out that you can do what you've been doing from a different perspective, from a different angle. You live a little bit more enriched. How cool is that? Okay. And then here is something, I've heard, and I think I've shared this before because there was a very profound example I got a long time ago. Volunteering, folks, can actually help you secure a new job or a career change if that's what you are looking for. Volunteering. So let's say you are really trying to figure out what else can I be good at. Volunteering can be a way to test things out. Go and volunteer from a completely different stuff that you have no clue about whether you would even enjoy it or you will not enjoy it. Go try and volunteer, and you'll find out you may just enjoy it. And in the process, voila, you may end up with a new career. Okay, so volunteering, folks, can help you find a new job if you're a job hunter. How cool is that? These are things that makes you happy. And then, of course, volunteering helps you what? Have a healthier body. Yes, research demonstrates that volunteering leads to a better health. Those who volunteer have lower mortality rates, greater functional ability, and lower rates of depression later in life than those who do not volunteer. So if you have children or you have grandchildren, encourage them to start it now, because sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, when you already are in a situation. Let's say a person that's depressed, that's even part of the definition of depression. It's going to be less interested in going out to volunteer. And whereas if you have the habit of volunteering already, according to research now, shows you are less likely. You have a lower rate of depression in the later part of your life. So, folks, think about all these benefits. It just goes to tell you, folks, how powerful it is. Now, every one of us already know that volunteering is good for an organization. Volunteering has a meaningful, positive impact on your community. We all already know that part. But did you know that it can also improve your health and your happiness? Sometimes, folks, we do get locked into the rat race of life. And volunteering can give you that escape to everyday routine and create a balance in our life. Now, I know, folks, sometimes when things are so simple, we take it for granted. It doesn't cost any money to volunteer, so maybe it's not as valuable. Maybe it's not as important, like buying a Lamborghini or buying a big house or buying one of those things, that we, spend our hard-earned money on. Volunteering is just a little bit of time. Now, let me give you a caution, though, because some of you might be listening to this now and say, okay, let me just toss into it and just go out and start volunteering, and the more I volunteer, the more happier I get, and the more healthier I get, the less likely I have depression and all of those stuff. One small tiny caution, folks. If you volunteer too much, it could actually have a little reverse effect, okay? So watch for that now. If you're finding out that you are putting too many hours in volunteering, and then volunteering is gradually starting to turn into like a job feeling for you, then maybe it's time for you to back off a little bit, okay? Back off a little bit, because now you're getting into the theory of diminishing return, and you don't want that, okay? And that's why, I always recommend at least 5 hours. Some people do 10 hours and maybe 15 hours, but folks, just kind of monitor it that you don't start to overdo it, and then you start to negate on some of the benefits. And you will feel it. You will know when you start feeling like, wow, you're overwhelmed from volunteering, then something is not quite right at that particular time. It's time to back off and slow down a little bit. That's the power of volunteering. You can give as much and give as little, and you can kind of control it. Okay, so some of the other benefits, we already talked about the health benefit, the fact that, if you know any family members that are struggling with depression, do them a favor, grab them and you guys walk out and go and volunteer together. Maybe they will not take the initiative by themselves, but if you kind of help them out and move them along and get it started for them, and you might be finding out that on the way back home, there's a little smile on their face, and they're a little happier than they were, when they were on their way going. So, folks, do some research for yourself. Go and Google, volunteering and happiness. And this is the advantage that we have today, is that we have access to unlimited information. But if we don't do something with those information, it doesn't really matter. So do a little research. Find some time. If you're someone that's still needing a little convincing, that volunteering can improve your mental health, can help you live a little bit longer, okay, as so many reviews suggest, then do some research for yourself. But whatever you do, though, do something. And I'm going to kind of close with this. And this is common sense, although research also supports it now. But when you volunteer, folks, guess what? Most of the time, you got to get off the couch. You got to get out of the couch. You got to get out of the house, and in the process, you're physically active. And whenever you're active, guess what? You're going to be a little bit happier, okay? Just a little bit activity can also go a long way in the process. So pick up a phone and go on the computer, do a little research, find a cause that you believe in. Okay, that's very crucial. A cause that you believe in, that you know that you can help them, you can enhance their work, and in the process, you would also be enhancing yourself. So that's my focus today, is volunteering and happiness. And I want to thank you very much for joining us. And till next Monday, folks, let's do our normal way of closing. So I'm going to count 1 to 2. Let's wish each other a happy Monday. 1 and 2.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. You guys stay happy.
You too.
Recorded.